NASA Stat Cruise Captain accidentally walked into the CEO's private suite. What he discovered changed both their lives forever. Captain Ethan Walker had entered thousands of cabins during his 15 years at sea. But the door he opened that night would change his life forever. An emergency alarm had been triggered from the most restricted suite aboard the Ocean Crown, the flagship vessel of Sinclair Cruises. Thinking it was a safety issue, Ethan grabbed his override key and rushed down the executive corridor. He unlocked the door and stepped inside. 1 second later, he froze. The billionaire CEO of Sinclair Cruises, Victoria Sinclair, stood in the middle of her private suite while changing. But it wasn't the embarrassing situation that shocked him. Hidden beneath her expensive designer clothes was a massive orthopedic brace wrapped tightly around her torso. Dark bruises covered her ribs and lower back. She looked nothing like the powerful woman who appeared on magazine covers and business channels. She looked hurt and terrified. For several seconds, neither of them moved. Victoria's eyes locked onto him, cold, sharp, dangerous, the kind of look that could destroy careers. Ethan immediately turned away. "I'm sorry," he said. The emergency alarm activated. "I thought someone was in danger." The room remained silent, then Victoria spoke. "Captain." Her voice sounded weaker than he expected. When Ethan looked back, he noticed her struggling to remove one of the brace straps. The pain on her face was impossible to hide. "You should sit down," he said quietly. Victoria's expression hardened. "You saw nothing. You need medical attention. I have doctors." Then they aren't helping enough. Nobody spoke to Victoria Sinclair that way. Nobody. She was one of the most powerful women in the cruise industry. Executives feared her. Investors respected her. Competitors avoided her. Yet somehow this captain standing in front of her looked completely unimpressed by her wealth. Finally she sighed. "I was injured 4 months ago." Ethan remained silent. "A helicopter transporting me to a private island crashed during a storm." She laughed bitterly. "The media thinks I was on vacation." Her hand tightened against the brace. "The truth is that I fractured 3 vertebrae and broke several ribs." Everything suddenly made sense. Why she had secretly boarded the ship, why almost nobody knew she was on board, why she seemed exhausted. Victoria looked directly at him. "If my board discovers how serious my condition is, they'll force me out of the company." For the first time Ethan realized something important. The billionaire CEO wasn't powerful. She was scared. That night Ethan couldn't stop thinking about what he'd seen. After finishing his shift, he called his daughter Lily as usual. The 8-year-old answered immediately. "Daddy," a smile appeared on his face. "Hey, Bug." Lily spent 15 minutes explaining why dolphins were smarter than everyone at her school. Ethan listened carefully. No matter how exhausting his day became, those calls always mattered. After ending the conversation, he sat alone on the bridge, watching the moonlight dance across the ocean. His life wasn't easy. Raising a daughter alone never was. Medical bills from Lily's asthma treatments seemed endless. School expenses kept growing. And, despite being captain of one of the world's most luxurious cruise ships, money still disappeared faster than it arrived. But he had Lily, that was enough, or at least it usually was. The next morning, Ethan received a message. CEO requests private meeting. His stomach sank immediately, so this was it. He'd accidentally seen something he wasn't supposed to see. Now he was going to be fired. The meeting took place in Victoria's private conference lounge, overlooking the Atlantic. She sat at the far end of the table, perfectly dressed, perfectly composed, as if the previous night had never happened. A thick folder rested beside her. "Captain Walker." Ethan nodded. "Miss Sinclair." She pushed the folder toward him. Inside were documents. Personal documents, his employment records, financial history, medical insurance reports, Lily's asthma treatment expenses. Ethan's jaw tightened. "You investigated me. I investigate everyone." Victoria folded her hands. "You're a widower." Ethan remained silent. "You declined 3 promotions because they would reduce the time you spend with your daughter." Still silent. "You have no disciplinary record." "What exactly is this about?" Victoria leaned forward. "I need someone I can trust." Ethan almost laughed. You have hundreds of executives. I don't trust them. The answer came instantly. Victoria looked out toward the ocean. The company is preparing for a billion-dollar merger. And, if investors discover my condition before it's finalized, the deal collapses. The room became quiet. She looked back at him. I need someone outside corporate politics. Someone discreet. Someone reliable. Someone who knows how to stay calm during a crisis. Ethan frowned. What are you asking? Victoria hesitated. For the first time she actually looked uncomfortable. I need help. Those 3 words clearly cost her something. I need someone beside me when my back gives out. The following weeks changed both of their lives. Officially, Ethan remained captain of the Ocean Crown. Unofficially, he became Victoria's closest ally. He accompanied her during inspections, attended private executive meetings, helped manage situations whenever her injuries became difficult to hide. At first they clashed constantly. Victoria hated accepting help. Ethan hated watching her pretend she was invincible. One afternoon she insisted on inspecting 6 decks in less than 3 hours. By the 4th deck her face had gone pale. Slow down, Ethan said. I'm fine. No, you're stubborn. Victoria glared at him. He didn't care. For several seconds they stared at each other. Then unexpectedly she laughed. It was the first genuine laugh Ethan had heard from her, and somehow it changed everything. One evening, after a difficult meeting with investors, Victoria's condition suddenly worsened. She managed to reach her suite, before her legs nearly collapsed beneath her. Ethan caught her before she hit the floor. For a moment she tried pulling away, then pain won. He carefully guided her to a sofa. Her breathing had become shallow. Sweat covered her forehead. The brace, she whispered. It's stuck. Ethan examined the mechanism. One of the locking clasps had bent inward, digging directly into injured tissue. He looked at her. This is going to hurt. Victoria nodded. Ethan applied pressure. The metal resisted, then snapped free. Victoria gasped. The relief was immediate. For several moments neither spoke. The atmosphere felt different now. Less like CEO and employee. More like 2 people carrying burdens nobody else understood. Nearby, a folded piece of paper fell from Ethan's pocket. Victoria picked it up. It was a drawing, a cruise ship, a captain, and a little girl holding his hand. Lily drew this? Ethan smiled. She thinks every ship I command is the biggest ship in the world. Victoria stared at the drawing longer than expected. Then she asked quietly, how is her asthma? The question surprised him. Better. The treatment's helping? Yes. Victoria nodded slowly. Good. Something about that simple word felt genuine, human. For the first time Ethan saw the woman beneath the billionaire, and for the first time Victoria stopped seeing only the captain. The final challenge arrived 3 weeks later, the merger signing ceremony. Hundreds of investors, board members, industry leaders, media representatives. Everyone attended. Everything depended on that night. Victoria stood before the crowd looking confident and powerful. But Ethan noticed the signs immediately. The tension in her jaw, the stiffness in her movements, the pain she was hiding. Then trouble arrived. Richard Hale, a board member who wanted Victoria removed. He approached with several major investors. His timing wasn't accidental. He knew she was vulnerable. As questions intensified, Ethan noticed her balance begin to falter. Only slightly, but enough. Without hesitation he stepped forward. Monsieur Sinclair. Every head turned. Harbor control requires immediate authorization regarding docking clearance. The statement wasn't true, but it created an exit. Victoria understood immediately. She accepted his offered arm. Together they left the ballroom. The moment the doors closed behind them, her strength vanished. She leaned heavily against the wall, breathing hard. You saved me. Ethan shook his head. I did my job. Victoria looked directly into his eyes. No. Her voice softened. You stayed. For a moment neither spoke, because both understood what she meant. Everyone else had stayed because of power, or money, or opportunity. Ethan had stayed because she needed someone. 6 months later everything looked different. Victoria recovered enough to remove the brace permanently. The merger became one of the largest successes in cruise industry history. Sinclair Cruises expanded worldwide, and Ethan's life changed too. He remained captain of the Ocean Crown, but now held a senior leadership position within the company. More importantly, Lily's medical treatments were fully covered. The financial pressure that had haunted him for years was finally gone. One sunny afternoon, Ethan picked Lily up from school. She climbed into the car smiling. "Daddy, can we get ice cream?" Before he could answer, his phone buzzed, a text message from Victoria. "Take Lily for ice cream. Company expense." Ethan laughed. Lily looked confused. "What?" "Nothing." He started the car, then smiled. "Actually, let's get 2 scoops." As they drove away, the future no longer seemed so heavy. Sometimes life changed because of hard work, sometimes because of luck, and sometimes because a cruise captain accidentally opened the wrong door and discovered that even the most powerful people in the world need someone willing to stand beside them when nobody else will.